Alright, so in this one, we are going to be reacting to Slack X's video of the entire story of the most hated character in Dragon Ball Legends history. Oh man, that sounds pretty brutal. I think the thumbnail was UMV, which I can't agree is one of the most hated characters in my history of playing this game. Been started since first year, so let's just get into this here. By the way, Slack X and I, we're homies. We're chill like that. He goes to my streams. I watch his vids. It's a good time. So if you're ever wondering, like, hey, this is a bit weird, you're reacting so much, he's fine with it. We're good with it. Let's get into it. What is, well, the story of UMV?
Let me ask you a question. What do you know about Prime Ultra Majin Vegeta?
Feared and despised by the Dragon Ball Legends community, a being whose very presence reshaped the battlefield itself, the embodiment of wrath, pride, and unrivaled destruction. Ultra Majin Vegeta, heralded as the pinnacle of ultra power, descended upon the game like a storm of chaos, spreading his venomous influence and leaving devastation in his wake. Matches were no longer contests of skill, but trials of endurance against his overwhelming might. Yet in time, even the brightest flame begins to fade. The weight of his own fury would turn against him, casting him into the shadows of irrelevancy, the very fate he once dealt to countless others. How could the mightiest Ultra in Legends history fall from such divine heights to utter obscurity? What brought about the downfall of this once feared warrior? Prepare yourselves as we journey through the rise and fall of Dragon Ball Legends' most notorious villain. This is the story of Ultra Majin Vegeta.
Before Ultra Majin Vegeta was even...
While I do think UMV is, easily top 5 most hated units for me, I will always go back to this every single time we talk about a negative of Legends. At least character-wise, because it's so free. It's so there for us. Ultra Gogeta Blue. That, man, I'll say it every time because I don't think fusions get enough flack for when they do ruin things. I think people just kind of toss it over the side. They're like, whatever, it's fine. They're hype. It's cool. Vegeta's pretty hype, to be fair, but he's not a fusion level hype, obviously. It's a fusion. Oh my god, it's Goku and Vegeta in one. It's crazy. UGB. Not taking this away from UMV's video here. I know it's his hatred video, and fair, deserved, obviously. UGB deserves the same video. Slack, you're seeing this. Same video on UGB. He deserves this same exact thing. He killed ranged units for months. A yellow dropped 2 months after him, and that yellow couldn't even run. Because this guy could just still one-shot him after a couple 30 counts, whatever it is, when UGB ends up going neutral and just one-shot Master Roshi. You dropped the green unit that was ranged, couldn't do anything. MVP was barely holding on, if even being run at that point, which he really wasn't. For months, you couldn't run ranged units. Well, I understand UMV is a disaster to humanity. Hey, that blue hair, purple ultra fusion, man. If there's any start of when ultras became that kind of level of broken, like USG was pretty good. The lock-in thing with Ally Dead. And whatever, I mean, that was considered toxic. Now that's just like a whatever. They're getting a lock in. Oh my god. If you don't lock in, you're kind of mid at this point. At some points. That was considered toxic. But the real, that blue hair man, brother. That blue hair man did it. Deserves the same exact goddamn content that UMV's getting right here.
A thought in anyone's mind. Vegeta, just as a standalone character, was widely known throughout the community as one of the most mistreated and disrespected characters in the game. And although recently he's been getting better treatment with all the broken LFs and Ultras, this wasn't always the case.
I saw a little bit of fraudulence there. Evo, better treatment? Apeless? I mean, he aged like shit. Better treatment? I mean, full power Frieza dropped. Evo? Apeless? Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, sure, but you need him like higher stars because Diamond Miniku can replace him. If you have like a 7-star Vegeta and 9 to 10-star Miniku, put Miniku on the team because he got his Zenkai. It's just like boop, slot him in. It's funny because Miniku's Zenkai buffed Vegeta, and yet you would still run. Most people would run Miniku over Vegeta. It was the respect. The only one that actually is respecting Vegeta is UV4. because UV4 is actually still top tier. He's best individually in the game right now, as of this video being recorded before Festival. But all those others, I mean, for God's sake, Evo was a UMV victim. That says enough. What was Evo? UMV, 7 months released before Evo, and he victimized Evo, Mr. UMV. But I guess that's the whole point of the video, because Jesus Christ, that's just terrible.
Since the beginning days of the game, and up till early 2024, it was really uncommon for us to receive a well-performing Vegeta unit. Hell, it was uncommon for us to receive a standalone Vegeta in general. Ever since Tag Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta for Legends Fest 2021, the only time we see Vegeta representation, and the only time he'd actually perform well, was when he was either attached to Goku or another character. And even then, there'd still be instances where his lackluster kit would hinder the performance of the entire character.
Slack, don't do this.
And when we did finally receive an LF standalone Vegeta after literal years of not getting
one,
he ended up...
Slack, hold on, before he gets into the Super Vegeta, oh my god, terrible, I get it, he is terrible, and he was terrible. Slack, my goat. It's funny because it is another Evo. Yellow Evo was dominant. He was a very coin toss character, but that was the answer to hybrids. The answer. There was no answer, but the answer that you could cope and try was Yellow Evo dropped as the after party to Revhan. So you had Puddle, you had Revhan, and you had FSK running around, running amok. It was either Gokua or Evo. You're either trying to build a movies team and try to beat the Gohans within that because all the extra hybrid damage that he did, or Evo, who was the after party LF, where you pop Revhan's revival, you're neutral for what, 20, 30 counts. You could 2 to 3 card because he stacked so fast, he ramped up so quickly, 2 to 3 card FSK with Evo. If you got that coin toss, you got those 50-50s going, Evo was the the sniper. He could easily 1v3 hybrids. Now, given he could get 2 carded by FSK, but we're talking about solo Evos and solo Vegetas and solo all these, all being kind of mediocre to nothing unless they're with a Goku or somebody. Yellow Evo is that one anomaly, man. There's so little. You know, kind of Red Ape was okay enough, but Yellow Evo, definitely a 10,000 times higher tier than Red Ape ever was, than any of these Vegetas were besides UV4. Yellow Evo, bro. The respect that man does not get for what he could have handled, and what he did try to handle, pretty well off for all things considered. He was a yellow, by the way, and he could handle FSK to some degree. His team really not being fully fulfilled was the issue there, but to try to handle FSK, that's no small order, and Evo could physically, and I've done it, I've seen it, I experienced it. Evo was able to 1v3 hybrids. Again, he was able to get 2 carded sometimes by FSK. Fair. But it was the coin toss of coin tosses. Some games you had to fear that man for the life of you. He popped that Revhan, and that's 2 blast cards to happen. Guess what, man? You gotta fear Evo the entire time, and you better hope you get that PV or get that snipe, because if you don't, you will be in dire spots. And he just ramps up and goes and go. That man deserves so much more respect, and he did not get it here, unfortunately, but I will give it right now.
One of the most underwhelming and undertuned LF characters we've received in recent time. This was personally one of the most disappointing releases in the game for me and many other players. We Vegeta fans have been waiting patiently for far too long for him to receive any form of representation. And when we finally do get what we want, we can't even use the character due to all the major flaws within his design, and the fact that he just got utterly incinerated by the strongest characters dominating the game.
It's kind of funny because Super Vegeta, wasn't it like Super 17 and then Super Vegeta dropped? Or it was either or, whichever dropped in whichever spot. But the whole point is Super 17 existed, and then it's like Super Vegeta. And then Radhan drops, and I guess Radhan's meant to like get kind of, barely, cooked by Super Vegeta's ultimate, because it's a projectile ultimate, one of the first few, if not the first. And like that's the endurance null. Hey, kill Radhan. You don't have to do the ultimate and hit him. Just freaking do this thing. Yeah, that didn't do much, unfortunately.
All these beautiful
he has a good precedent, just terrible execution this unit.
It never made any sense why Vegeta got the harsh treatment he did. And you would think with him being the second main character of the entire franchise, especially in Dragon Ball Super, where a majority of the show was Goku and Vegeta fighting together, would receive not decent, but exceptional representation. But for some reason, that never seemed to be the case. So not only could Vegeta not dominate the game for once, but he also had to wait an extended period of time before receiving any new representation. Oh, but when it comes to a character like Gohan, that's when the devs want to start releasing every version of this motherfucker and start locking in by turning into these galaxy brain scientists when designing his.
Hey, whoa, Gohan, hey, whoa. Listen, I don't love Gohan any more than anyone else, but still, like, hey, if Vegeta's number 2 in Z, Gohan was number 3. Like, I'm just saying, does he deserve all the glaze he gets? I mean, is it mostly... Okay, besides Beast, it is mostly Z Gohan. It's not like Dragon Ball Super fucking Gohan. And besides Beast, which he does basically nothing in Super, but still besides Beast, they ain't doing shit. You know, we're not getting anything... Like, there's no Topon that's top 0, given we got a very good Blue Turn Power Gohan, but still, not yet at least. Beast does deserve the glazing. It's mostly Gohan's, obviously, but, like, I understand. Vegeta did deserve it as well.
It was just so wrong for the devs.
You get sidelined the show, you get sidelined the game.
One character, yet completely disregard and not even attempting to try nor pretend to care about the other. Vegeta fans were always in a state of absolute shambles. Honestly, we were all just used to it at this point.
Where's my name?
It really felt like at some points this character was just never going to get the proper respect he.
Vegeta killed like 5-6 motherfuckers on Namek. No character, no sparking. Could just be basic. Could pull a Dokkan. Starts as Vegeta, revives the Goku, reverse the Frieza fight. Can we at least do that? Can I have my pity? I like Vegeta. I love him on Namek. I don't really care about him further than that, but I love him on Namek. I love him in the Saiyan Saga. Character arc is fulfilled during the Namek Saga. It ends. He dies. All right, character arc. Boop, boop, pop. Can I get something? I've been asking. I've been pleading. Every time we get Namek buffs, it's just another Goku. I get it. I love Goku. He cool. He great. Namek Vegeta. Dodoria, killing. Darbon, killing. Kui, killing. Mean nothing. Don't mean shit. It means something before. Now don't mean shit. Just because Goku's strong. There's only one motherfucker that's strong besides Vegeta. That's a good guy. Well, good guy. Not a bad guy. On Namek. And it's Goku. And we have 10,000 Gokus from Namek. So where the fuck's my Vegeta from Namek? He's only a half-decent guy on Namek. Please don't do this to me. Stop this.
But finally, come October 29th, the first ever Ultra Summonable Vegeta unit would be announced. The savior of all Vegeta
That is crazy
fans
how long it took for Vegeta to get
finally
Son of
here.
Ultra.
Or so we thought at the time.
Oh, that looks good.
He's got the pose. Let's fucking go. That's the exact art I wanted.
Hey, as long as he puts in work, I'm good. That art is fire, bro.
He
We
did put in
finally
work.
got Ultra Majin Vegeta.
Ultra Majin Vegeta was here, and the community was overjoyed. As I stated previously, not only was this our first summonable Ultra Vegeta, and not only is it representation for Vegeta's most iconic moment in the series, but to top it all off, he was actually good.
What?
I know, right? An actual meta-viable standalone Vegeta unit in this day and age? I never thought I lived long enough to see the day. People love this character.
That's here. Modern times, there
His
was
art
not
and
many very good
animations are
Vegetas.
beautiful
Modern
and
times.
still hold
That's
up
a
to
back
this
in the
day.
day Yellow
But of
Evo.
course, most importantly, his kit. We already talked about this guy's kit a million times already, but I'll do it one last time as a refresher. He's got a blast counter gauge that stuns you, leaving you vulnerable to get hit with the free blue card that it gives.
Sounds like somebody... A blast counter gauge that gives a blue card, but never gets discussed as being the most toxic thing in the game.
You AoE green that gives cover null, 2 cards, card protection, and type neutral when his gauge is full. He can seal you in on entry for 2 sub counts, which can also be combined with his lock-in
The
ultimate
kid like
that does
the back of
AoE
his
damage
fucking hand.
and
Holy
cancels
shit.
enemy buff effects.
That's that
He can seal
PTSD
your rush for
striking.
10 counts.
I feel
He
it.
can destroy Dragon Balls. He has buff cancellation. He can inflict bleed on every strike card. He can inflict enemies with card cost every time he uses a blast
I don't even know
card.
half this
He can
shit.
combo for an eternity. This motherfucker literally does everything. It was like
True.
dropping a Megalodon in a tank full of goldfish. No unit in the game could even dream of standing a chance against this demon. Take a look at poor UG4 over here.
To be fair, isn't that what people wanted? Obviously, I'm playing a little coy there, but that is what people wanted. They wanted Broken Vegeta. I mean, asking you shall receive, am I right or am I
He's
right?
still out of commission till this day because of what UMV did to him.
Deserves. He didn't deserve it that bad. He was just an ult merchant, bro. UG4 ain't doing much, tragically.
What happened to him?
But despite
Give
all
that
the
man his
havoc
platter
and
ready.
destruction UMV was causing, people loved it. It was nice that Vegeta was finally getting a chance to dominate for once. I mean,
People loved it
hell,
for
if
like a
anyone
day,
deserved
a
to,
week.
it was him for all the shit that this game has put him through. But all in all, Legends gave the players what they wanted, Vegeta was finally given proper respect, and most importantly, the community was happy. And everything from here on out seemed like it was going to be just fine.
When I was reading AoE Green Card, UGB Gauge, entry lock-in, and an ult that can lock in, I don't know if the word I would use is happy, just more understanding of, oh, it's not a bad Vegeta. It's a godly one. I don't think I'd use the word happy. I'd use the more word of terrified. I think I was terrified. I think most people were terrified.
Yeah, about that. You see, the community was happy for a little while, until about 3 weeks in, when everyone started to finally see UMV.
3 is
for the
so
annoying,
generous.
Unbearable, toxic piece of shit he really was. I mean, hey, it's normal. That's the usual cycle us Legends players go through with these characters. So by this point, people were just waiting for fast for UMV to get countered and for the meta to change up. He had already gotten his respect and time to dominate, but it was time for this monster to get up out of here. But instead of the usual cycle commencing, something different happened this time. You see, UMV is so overtuned and so broken to the point where one simple counter wasn't going to be enough to take this guy out. And when that counter character finally did arrive, that being transforming Vegeta Blue with his anti-counter gauge ability, not only did it completely fail to push UMV back, but instead, it actually helped him by contributing to the already tedious long combo problem Majin Buu Saga has caused. They unintentionally became some of the best parts.
I never really correlated the thought of saying UMV and TVB was UMV's counter. I guess that does make sense. I never really thought of it like that. Like, obviously, I know he has the anti of his gauge. Like, I get it. But, like, he's so slow at it. I never really even put the two. Was that really intended? Like, to counter him? I mean, to be fair, he also, I'm not going to say, obviously, didn't counter him because he didn't. Red Gotenks was good against him, at least. So that was cool. Who dropped, I believe, after. So that was pretty cool. You know, that was pretty neat. No one really gives a fuck about Red Gotenks, unfortunately. But still, that was pretty cool. I never correlated this. Wow. I guess he was meant to. Well, the next unit of Legends Fest was meant to, which surely he'll talk about
in
it,
a
right?
good while. And it
Surely.
didn't help either that Vegeta was also a green character, the perfect color to go alongside yellow. And it would only continue to get even worse when 3Ku dropped, who was another green
How about the
Saiyan
other one?
and a long combo character, and the icing on the cake, another Majin Buu Saga character. Now UMV had yet another goon to fight alongside with. Even with
That is
LF
true.
Super Saiyan Damagoku that were
There we
released
go.
alongside 3Ku, with him being a red lock-in sniping character. It didn't matter. All you had to do was land one combo with any of these guys, and you weren't able to play the game. And even
I gotta give a little bit of respect. I don't know if it'll be given here, but I gotta do it real quick before he does or doesn't. Tamagami number 3, bro. With Daima Miniku, oh my god. If you were talking about a blessing to exist ever during hell, given these units could infinite combo, but killing you, that Tamagami guy, man, holy shit. That man just wouldn't die. Even to a UMV, that man was just impenetrable. That was the one saving grace of that era. Blue, or rather Ultra Beast having, you know, his beam to kind of snipe UMV, sure. But this, oh, Tamagami. Red-purple color synergy, obviously intended to take down these little fucking, as he says, goons here. Oh, Red Miniku to Tamagami. Red Miniku's toxic. It's just, look what the fuck's in front of us. Most people didn't point out his toxicity. Again, kind of like a UGB thing. Because what else we have already here? You know, there's Red Pan, there's Blue Beast. What are we going to point out UGB for? We already got the others. Same thing with Red Miniku to these guys. Everyone was toxic at that
And
point.
if you did get a combo
Tamagami was such a
UV's
savior.
counter gauge exist. It was genuinely hopeless. And with Beast Gohan being the final unit to wrap up the celebration, he wasn't able to push UMV out of the meta either. And you would think he would be able to, with him literally having a one-shot button built into his kit. But no, UMV was just that ridiculous. Ultra Majin Vegeta is one of the rare occurrences
Which, that
where a
beam
unit
should not
is
be
so
fast.
overpowered that they were able to
Yeah,
survive the
Frieza.
power creep of a major celebration. And it's even more rare for that same character to still be considered the best in the game. Fast forwarding to January and February of 2025, and UMV is still dominating. Legends attempted to counter UMV again with L of Zamasu, but unfortunately he was very underwhelming on initial release. Nothing was working, and the hatred for this character only grew by the day.
I'll let it slide.
In fact, people were so sick of this guy that they decided to take matters into their own hands, that being the UMV mass countering on January 31st, where the community went into PvP using full mono red teams just to kill this bastard.
That was real?
This
I thought that was
has
a meme.
never happened before with any character in the game. This
thought that was a
unit
meme.
literally had the community hosting
really
full
happened?
live
Oh my
events
God.
just to get rid of him. Not even FSK was this hated.
Interesting.
That alone speaks volume for how much of a mistake UMV really was. People genuinely viewed this character and anyone who used him as the Antichrist. And unfortunately, thanks to the new Battle version 2.7 update in February, things would only continue to get even worse. This new update gave a huge nerf to backfloating, which in turn made it even easier for any character with an AoE green card to hit you. Wink, wink. It's like the devs were helping this character succeed at this point. No character could counter him. The entire game had been changed.
In the grand scheme, that actually is a good update because passive play is a problem. And you still can do passive play, but like, yeah, now you can't PV in the back of the map and just fucking sit there like an idiot, right? That's awesome. Thank fucking God. You can actually engage with the full blast hand if they're just trying to run away. Obviously, during this era, not the most positive thing that people were looking for, especially because I'm pretty sure that dropped around like IT Goku, which was also an AoE green merchant, so it made no fucking sense. Why were they just helping AoE green units? They don't need help. They're AoE green. They're the most brain dead mechanic in the game. I couldn't tell you why they did it around this time, but the update is a positive. I would say more than less. It's just more so, yeah, Legends don't got the best timing with some of their things.
Was advantage. And they also dropped IT Goku, another Saiyan character with an AoE green. We needed a solution. And fast.
I saw
because
it.
the more as time went on,
The bug was right
stronger
there.
this bum was
Show
getting.
him.
And
Bring him back.
Thank God Almighty, at the beginning of March, the hero that we've been praying for so long would finally arrive. Ultra Perfect Cell. UMV's worst nightmare. Up to 300.
Small dilemma with Cell that existed on release was Gohan Trunks released prior. UMV, yellow. Gohan Trunks, partially blue, majority blue. Not saying UMV was thriving against Cell. He wasn't in the coffin yet against Cell. He was definitely getting fucking beat down. He was getting fucking pummeled. He was not in the coffin because of Gohan Trunks. And they dropped just before Cell, which makes no sense. Why not give Cell his limelight to fuck UMV up, then drop Gohan Trunks? Cell's still gonna fuck them up. But still, why not give Cell the limelight of reversing the release dates? They could have, they should have. Cell was still top one. It's just, come on. Could have been nicer to him.
Inflicted damage, armor break, obscure on blue card, permanently
And the big
nullifies
thing?
endurance at all times, infinite combos, and most important of all, he is red. Tremble in fear, UMV. There was a new king in
two-card.
town.
Literally,
Vegeta
that's what you
stood
gotta do.
no
Two
chance
blasts.
against this Saiyan Terminator. One hit was all it took for this loser to be put on life support. Victory has been assured. Majin Vegeta was finally pushed out of the meta, thus ending his story once and for all. It was a good ass run, I can't lie. Definitely overstayed his welcome, but karma was bound to strike this unit eventually. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on Ultra Majin Vegeta. Do you love him? Hate him? Feel free to share your opinion in the comments below. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, that wasn't where it
God
ended,
damn it, Legends.
unfortunately.
Yeah, the story isn't over yet, unfortunately. So about 2 weeks later, after the release of Ultra Cell, Legends decided to drop LF
2 weeks
Super
is
Saiyan
crazy.
4 Daima Goku and
Cell did
make
not
him
last long at
blue
one.
of all colors. And with Cell being more on the squishy side with his defenses, his role of domination was taken away instantly and was pushed back by a good margin. Now that Forku was the new hotshot in town calling all the shots, people were less inclined to use Ultra Cell in fear of getting ripped to pieces, which in turn allowed UMV to sneak his way back into the meta again. We were in paradise for 2 weeks victory was ours until Legends.
I get what he's going for with that. The victory was ours. Because it was. UMV did fall down. He was hurt. Good bit from Cell. I don't think people remember how bad it was against Cell. If you did own Gohan Trunks, you lost. I mean, that's just point blank. Even if you owned Cell, all you had to do was just no one had revival. No one had anything. No one was, you're not using a comeback. You didn't destruct. There was nothing. There was nobody that was good enough that was having those mechanics. So you're in a Cell matchup, or you're in a matchup where you don't have Cell and they do, you're most likely just auto loss. You can't win. There's no real change. Cell, again, very short reign of terror, but even with Gohan Trunks, I mean, it was goddamn near impossible to beat Cell. It was just Cell Mirror or Gohan Trunks. Hopefully they get to kill Cell fast because he was a little bit more frail even then. It was tough, man. Like, Cell was a problem, given a very short problem, but that motherfucker did some shit. It was kind of like Ultra Hit for the 1 week he had his plat before the Saiyan Saga shit came out, and then Rev UI was like, run Rev UI only because he's a revival, and he's the protection. That's the same exact reason you would run, like, Gohan Trunks. Given they were new, so obviously they were very good, but still, you only face these units for such a short time, these red POs that just became gods for like a week or two, off the cliff. Just vanished. Who knows where the fuck they went. They fucking into the Shadow Realm. These units were crazy toxic, but it lasts so little, people really don't speak on it. But Cell? I remember very vividly. It was fucking annoying, man. It wasn't UMV annoying, but it was fucking annoying, man.
Stripped it away from us. UMV was officially back alongside the newest toxic team in the game, Daima. Oh my god, it was genuinely hell on earth. Now fast forwarding a bit to the part 1 of the 7th anniversary, my glorious...
Okay. I don't know if he was... I mean, you could run him, like, you know, a tedious team, like Mini-Ku, UMV, and, like, Ku or something, because Ku needs another Daima ally to get all his bullshit that could be doable. I don't think UMV was ever being run with Daima. I mean, he was kind of... I don't want to say positive in that vein, but UMV being able to have that lock-in to snipe somebody was very much more of a helpfulness than a negative to the game, because here's the new broken Jesus of Daima. Well, here's UMV that can lock in, snipe somebody on Daima, and their whole point is that they could insta-swap. They swap 27 times per combo, and they're just fucking annoying, especially with removing a cover and all. UMV kind of wasn't seen as a bad guy at that point. He was actually seen as more positive than negative, because Daima was such a negative on the whole game at that rate. So I don't even know if he's used that much, but if he was not seen as a bad guy. He was actually seen as pretty chill at that rate.
Beautiful, magnificent, fabulous, shining, handsome, sexy GOAT, LF transforming MEY Goku would be released for part 1, who was another blue character, which pushed Ultra Cell back even further.
I hate 2 parts of these.
Not only did MEY push UMV's only counter out the way completely, but they also became the perfect Saiyan duo, just
as well
like
as
Vegeta. These two terrorized PvP alongside LF God Goku, creating this ungodly powerhouse of a trio. All of these stupid abilities these characters had combined together
mention the other
was
thing.
simply
Mention the other thing so I can mention my
unbeatable.
point.
They worked so well together, to the point where UMV was being considered a top 3 unit 7 months later. This character refused to die, even after the part 2 units were released.
No, we didn't mention it. Okay, I'll mention it then. Part 2, he definitely got fucked up, by the way. This is like where his downfall actually started. Evo and UI, purple and blue, 7th year. I said it. I was like, why don't they have cancel buff? They're both endurance units. They don't have cancel buff effects. They're easily going to be victimized by somebody that could lock in. UMV at the time, obviously. And everyone would tell me, they don't need it. They don't need that. They get the heal, because they do get a heal. Awesome, right? Evo goes like defense neutral or some shit. UI gets a heal. Pretty sure they both get a little heal somewhere at least. And guess what? Evo was a victim to UMV. He didn't even mention fucking Evo, because that's how much he fucking got victimized by him. UI could also be a victim to UMV. Matter of fact, you could even say God Goku, who you just mentioned, could victimize Evo, because there was no cancel buff effect. So you run God Goku, you do a strike, you're neutral now. You do an ultimate on Evo. They're running Vegeta clan or some bullshit. Who knows what they're trying to do. He's dead. Evo could get 2-carded by a green unit. That's not necessarily a fucking positive. And everyone told me, you don't need cancel buff effect on them. They don't need it. Brother, even today, UI not having cancel buff effect will lose you games so much more than an Ulton who has cancel buff effect, or typical endurance anniversary units, or typical endurance units in general that have it. Cell has it. Ulton has it. Examples. UV4 has it. Frieza has it. Why couldn't UI or Evo, or both, get that? They needed it. They did. UI definitely needed it more than fucking anybody, because here's 2 greens that are coming. Evo was already a fucking loser at this point, so obviously he needed it. I don't know why they didn't get cancel buff effect. It's such a weird thing to not add. They didn't add it, man, and it was so goofy.
Get pushed back a bit.
Always say that.
Goku. It wasn't enough to put him out for the count permanently. He was still putting in work. At this point, the community was just exhausted of this guy. 7 months into the game, and he's still
I don't know
kicking,
who was running
even after
UMV
the
after Kaioken, bro.
and part
to be
2
honest.
anniversary power creep. It really seemed like nothing was going to kill this guy off,
I
and
don't
we
know
were
who
just
was
stuck
running
with
this
him
guy, man.
forever. And honestly,
I
that
don't
would have
know.
been the case if it wasn't for Legends doing something nobody would expect. Ultra Super Saiyan Namek Goku and Ultra Full Power Frieza. Double Ultra for part 3 of the anniversary. These 2 powerhouses completely flipped the meta over to their favor, power creeping a good majority of the usable characters at that time, which also included, finally...
I would say part 2 started the power. I mean, that's where I noticed it, obviously. Part 2 is what the power creep did. Because Saiyan Saga was such a bulk team and such an offense god team, because Kaioken was like fucking... It was just everything in one, just offense, defense, everything, supporting as well. He was just too much. I think part 2 did that. I mean, part 3 solidified it, but part 2 definitely... Part 2 is where the game ruined in 98% of the units of previous. That's where it started. Part 3 kind of just enhanced it, I would say. Definitely was part 2 that put this guy in his coffin, though.
Majin Vegeta. And with Majin Vegeta already having low defenses due to his old age, he got utterly eviscerated. He was completely defenseless
Frieza Beam did
against
hurt
these
him, though.
monsters.
This is just endurance.
UMV was officially done. For real this time.
Hey, there's still Cope on him.
So, now that we're all caught up with the story of Ultra Majin Vegeta, that leaves us with only a few more questions. Where is UMV during the present day? And will this unit ever dominate the game again? As of right now, I'm recording this video on October 25th. And ever since the part 3 of the 7th anniversary ended, I cannot tell you the last time I've seen anyone use this character. By this point, Majin Vegeta is just too
fought
old to
less than
really
5
compete
hours
with the
ago.
top units. His damage isn't what it used to be, especially his defenses. And with there being 2 dominant red characters in the game right now, you just can't get away with using this guy anymore. Oh my god, I would pay actual money to see how much damage 1 strike card from Zamasu would do to UMV. That shit would be
pops the first
hilarious.
slice.
As for him ever being a dominant unit again, yes, unfortunately, it is inevitable. This guy probably has the best kit out of any character in this entire game, and it's kind of scary to think about. All this guy really needs to be competent again is just a stat increase to his damage and defenses. Literally, that's it, and bro will be back in the top 10 like he never left. But thankfully, that won't be happening for years to come. So until that horrid day eventually arrives, let's just enjoy the moment of peace we have now. I would say this current meta is pretty decent. A huge step up from last year. That's not even a fucking competition. So, with all that wrapped up, I think it's finally time we say goodbye to this unit. He has cemented his legacy onto this game and will forever be remembered by the community as the most hated unit in Dragon Ball Legends history. But anyways,
Not for me.
let me know your thoughts on Ultra Majin Vegeta.
Not
Do
for
you
a
love
vet
him?
like I.
Hate him? Feel free to share in the comments. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a blessed day, and I'll catch you in the next one.
I don't know about this meta. I mean, right now, when I'm recording this, it's definitely healthier. I mean, Daimo is very unhealthy, but it's not like PO is very fucking healthy, bro. Like, I'm just putting it out there. Like, right now, it's Dragon Ball that's included because that's tier boost, and it's doing its fucking job, thankfully. They actually learned how to make boost work and, like, how their game operates, at least 2%. So that's awesome, but I don't think... Clearly, Daimo's more frustrating to fight than, you know, the PO team right now, but... A spade's a spade, bro. If one team's going to be top 1 dominant and there's nothing contesting it, back-to-back years, is it really a positive where we're at from there to then? You know, I mean, I'm not saying it's a fucking negative, but, like, it's neutral, bro. Like, you got one dominant team only, and then one dominant team only. One's more annoying, but one's also the same level of dominance, and it's a fucking raid boss on it. So, Daima to PO, a spade's a spade. That's all I got. But, now I most hated unit. I definitely hate UGB more. I probably hate FSK more. Probably hate... OG Namek is probably there. He's probably up there. Probably those three more, and then UMV. Yeah, maybe if you didn't play back then, you don't know these things. You don't know these characters, but I promise you, if you did, you know what I'm talking about. UMV definitely up there, again, top 5. He's going to be in there for sure, but good video. Good video. I like seeing the resurgences of how silly this character was. And there were so many things didn't even note that were like, here's IT Goku, who I believe he went uncancelable neutral on his green, and then if he did a blast card, then he sealed their blue cards, and it was good against UMV, and, like, he didn't fucking do anything to UMV, but, like, he was meant to just be paper thin, but, you know, not be a UMV victim in 2 cards, because he sealed the blue card. They kept doing that stupid shit instead of, like, actually trying to beat the fuck out of UMV. They just kept doing, like, here's a little subliminal buff, or nerf. Subliminal, and it's stupid. You know, you make MZ take long to get his peak damage within double gauge pops. It's kind of a problem when this guy can just burst down your team before those things happen. Like, MZ wasn't a bad unit. He was on one of the best teams in the game, matter of fact, when he dropped. But didn't matter in PvP because this guy could just burst down your team within his lock-in and tediousness and AoEs and whatever, and he'd go defense and offense neutral within his green card with gauge pop. So it didn't really matter when you took so long. It was a problem. But the history UMV, a very problematic unit. And he will be, once again, this is UGB 2.0. UGB was 1.0, and he was broken, toxic deity. This is UGB 2.0. Just more broken, more toxic, and more deity. And Namek Goku is like a 1.5 version of this guy, to be frank. But we ain't got to talk about Namek Goku right now. Let me guys think. My reaction to Slack X is the entire story of the most hated character in Dragon Ball Legends history. I'll see you guys in the next one.